Greetings, everyone. My name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of StarBreak. During the last part, I tried exploring the Fungus Cave and died during the boss fight, so I did another exploration but didn't make it to the boss because I didn't have enough support from other players. So now, in between the two parts, I did some off-screen grinding for better equipment and boosts, so let me do my equipment show-off as usual. Over here I have the custom compound repeater, 7 to 9 points of damage, 100% armor pierce and 100% precision, the same as before. Here's some new stuff, the modified contrived frag, which does 80 to 120 points of damage. I believe we also had that, but it's trisected, so that's going to be really useful against clusters of foes. The rest of the stuff is new. I have the custom Ferocious Blast, which does 20 to 30 points of damage and lasts for half a second. It does 4 blasts and is actually armor piercing. I have the Reinforced Talons, which has 12 points of armor, the regular one, and a Reinforced Jerkin, which has 20 points of armor and -2 speed. Now you may be wondering what's the ridiculous amount of armor boost compared to the other ones. Well, off screen I decided to visit some more difficult missions. I didn't actually complete them, but I just went there with other players, stayed behind and collected the gear that dropped, as well as boosts. So I got a custom Ferocious Blast from the underground base, because this is tier 3 equipment, and I got the base level equipment here from the tier 4 mission, aka Temple of the Lost. Now, this is the base level, so it doesn't have any modifiers, so these will be quickly replaced, but this will be very helpful in areas like the Fungus Cave. I won't be visiting the underground base just yet. Oh, and by the way, you can use emotes by just pressing one of the number keys on the top portion of your keyboard. And here we're at the start of the Fungus Cave. Let me see if anyone else is coming in before I jump in, just to be safe. Okay, I have some players. Good. Oh good, we actually have a Duskwing. Oh, okay, it's kind of a new Duskwing, so... Oh, and you have an Ironclad, a level 7 Ironclad, good. Having an Ironclad in this location makes a lot of these enemies a lot easier to deal with, especially because they can fire so many projectiles that it can become quite dangerous. But having someone who can block many of these projectiles will make a lot of these areas so much easier to deal with. And safer. Oh, whoa. Oh, and I didn't really show off my boosts, but here I got boosts for almost all my stats, except for ammo, so I'm much better prepared because I'm almost at tier 3 armor. Oh, and max HP, that's nice. So now I'm at 100 HP and maxed that up for tier 2. Oh yeah, I'm also in the Mach 2 of the shell. Basically, you upgrade your Mach of your shell by collecting those boosts. Once you get enough boosts, for example, you get all the boosts that go up to level 100, or for level 1, it'll be upgraded to Mach 2 for your shell. The same thing will happen once I collect all the boosts for tier 2, which will take me up to being Mach 3 for my shell. Oh, and sadly we lost our Duskwing. But thankfully she respawned. Or he respawned. Sadly in this game, classes or shells are gender locked. The Wildfire is male, the Duskwing is female, the Ironclad is unknown, and the Fabricator is... I don't know if it has a gender. I believe there's also another feature that was added to this game as well, which was, if I recall correctly, we have the Rejoin the Fight button, which I haven't seen yet because I died during the boss fight. From what I can recall for what Rejoin the Fight does is that if you die within a normal non-cathedral mission, non-star cathedral mission, right in the middle of the stage, not in the boss fight, you can rejoin the fight with some reduced boosts or lost equipment. So that's a nice way at rejoining the fight pretty fast. Before, in the version I played several months ago, if you died, you could only go back to Eschaton Station and have to regrind to get all of your equipment back. But here, as long as you don't die during a boss fight, you can just go back and rejoin the fight immediately with reduced stats or some lost boosts. So that's pretty nice. And now we have a Fabricator, Ironclad, and a Duskwing. I will be showing off the Duskwing eventually when I died on this character, or after I die on the next Wildfire character. The reason for this is because even though you have simple controls for this game, where you have jump, shoot, secondary, as well as the modifier key, things get quite complicated fast with all the pieces of equipment that you can purchase or you can attain, not to mention with all the different modifiers and stuff you can upgrade and whatnot. And especially with all the skill sets and other special training that you need to go through in order to understand each class and understand strengths and weaknesses, I strongly suggest playing with a class for a few hours, then move on to the next class, or shell. It really helps, because especially considering the Duskwing is one of the more challenging classes to play as. I dare say it's harder than playing as the Ironclad. Because I have tier 4 armor, I don't really have any use of getting most of this gear. Normally, I wouldn't suggest going to tier 4 unless you have a large group of people, but if you do, you have a chance of getting a lot of extra good gear. So if you really, if you want to play really cautious and you feel that you're skilled enough and you have enough people, go right ahead and go to the more difficult missions to get better gear. It'll make taking care of a lot of these early missions a lot simpler, a lot easier to deal with, and a lot of these enemies a lot less dangerous. I'll take it, but I don't have any use for it. Whoops, 1 second right now. Double check the performance by pressing P. Wonderful. My apologies, I'm worried about some of the performance drops that may happen in this game. I had some bad experiences where I got a huge lag drop during one of my test runs, and that resulted in one of my deaths. But I think we have enough people to actually complete the Fungus Cave. Oh good, if you saw that flash in the background, what that meant was... oh, I don't have any use of that. What that meant was one of those... I believe the Ironclad maxed out its Mach 2 shell portion. aka it got enough boost to fill the tier 2 notches, so that's good. I am still a ways to go because I don't have any ammo boosts. I really need ammo and damage boosts. And thankfully, because of all the players I have, it makes it a lot simpler to deal with all these mushrooms, especially as the damage can be now quite distributed between all of our allies. Still, some of these chargers are quite dangerous because they can pierce through everyone, or run through everyone. Really, this stage is better designed for Ironclads, mainly because their larger swing radius with their melee hammer, as well as their shield blocking most of their projectiles. But you don't really get to use the Ironclad. You don't really get to use the Ironclad until you reach character level 7 or account level 7. But in order to do that, you need to complete the Fire Forest and Fungus Cave, or the Fire Forest, well, or any 2 rooms, so you actually get to the max. You upgrade your max level to level 7, and you can actually unlock it. You see, in this game, not only can you level up your character, there's a certain limit of how much your max can go up to. Like, by default, your max level is set to, I believe, 5. But as you complete more missions, you'll increase your max character level, or the maximum level your character can achieve. Like, by completing the Fire Forest, I've increased it from 5 to 6, and by completing another mission, like the Fungus Cave, I'll be able to upgrade it from level 6 to level 7. And at the time of this recording, with the Star Cathedral and most of the other missions, the max level you can unlock is level 20. But of course, you still need to reach level 20, and to do that, you need to complete multiple missions in rapid succession without dying, or without dying too much. And by attaining more and more score, you'll get more. And by doing that, you'll be able to unlock more and more pieces of content. Although I haven't really seen what else you can use. Oh. I'll definitely take multiple blasts, just in case I get knocked into the giant worm's maw, like what happened before. So now I can actually use the air blast twice. That's going to be really useful for the boss fight, just in case I need to make a quick escape. Not to mention it makes jumping through these areas a lot faster. Oh, I didn't really mention this in the first part, but your character is always centered in the middle of the screen. And it can be kind of hard to see what's going on if you have up to 20 or 80 players on screen at once. So, thankfully the developers put this circle halo or whatever circle arc right over your character, which indicates that it's actually you, as compared to other characters. Okay, let's actually fight the giant worm again. As usual, we need to locate the beast which has the tongue out. Thankfully, by using this repeater, I have a longer range of actually able to hit these enemies. As before with the R blaster or shotgun, I couldn't really hit it without getting in dangerously close range. Okay, here it comes. Get to the side and begin firing. We need to strip off its pieces of armor so it can hurt its smaller side, the fleshy underside. Okay, here we go. Thankfully, when it actually rises up, those arms on the left disappear. But now I know that getting hit by that beast isn't actually instant death or falling into the maw. As you saw before, it dealt only 40 points of damage instead of being instant death. I think 2 more rounds of killing the tongues should do it. Whoa. Of course, the flies are the most annoying part of this fight. Oh, it's this one? Never mind. Oh boy. Better get over here. Yeah, the flies are the most annoying part, and they're released by the large worms on the left and right parts of the screen. Whoa. Where are you, tongue? I know one of these should be the weak point. Oh, that was my fault. Huh, one of these should have... Okay, never mind. Oh, okay, for the second phase of the... Okay, for the second phase of the fight, you can't actually... none of these worms will have their tongues out. You just need to carefully dodge out of the way for about 3 or 4 times, and then the giant worm will appear again, and that's where you need to hit. Oh good! The giant worm has been defeated, and also the giant worm itself spawns all those flies. Mission accomplished! So let's see what we got. I would take it, but... Oh gosh, I would really like a lot of this stuff, but I have so much better gear that I don't really have any use for it. If you're wondering, this is not an instant death trap. Don't worry, we don't have instant death traps, not in these early stages. And here's the dead worm. Alas, the Fungus Cave has been defeated. So once I get out of here, okay. So let me return back home and stuff all my gear. I really wish I could purchase another one of these stashes using energy credits. But boy, there's so much good gear that I'm going to have to sacrifice because I don't have enough space for it. I'm going to drop the... Oh, this is used by the Duskwing. Okay, I'll drop my grenade, I'll drop the Valensky. I'll equip the Jerkin. As you know, well, I didn't really mention it before, but the Duskwing is the fragile speedster character. That's why it has such a large movement speed boost, but low armor, relatively speaking. I'll take this and put that there. Oh, I really want to save that. Oh yeah, I can save it. Good, good. Well, I guess that's good enough for now. So my max level has been raised to level 7. And I got several keys. Now I have keys for the underground base and the Strands mission. Well then, I guess this is a good time to call... Actually, no. We're only 16 minutes in, so... Let's take a visit to the Vanquished mission, because we already have 7 people there. I'll do another Vanquished mission run in the next part, mainly because I won't be able to show off the full extent of this mission. Now, I did do some earlier playtesting of this just to see how it works, but the Vanquished mission, I'll also talk about the description of what this world is in the next part when I go through this mission again. But this world is filled with all these jumping enemies, and right at the bottom of the screen, there are all these death spikes. They're not really death spikes per se. They just do a ton of damage if you get hurt if you touch them. As I said in the previous part, I strongly suggest going to the Vanquished mission before you go to the Fungus Cave mission, because just like the Fire Forest, it's very open, so you have a lot of places for dodging stuff. Unlike the Fungus Cave, which is very claustrophobic and it can be a lot easier to get trapped and hurt by a lot of different enemies. And it's also a lot easier to escape from danger here, as well as escaping back to Eschaton Station. But this one gradually ramps up the difficulty with all the spikes at the bottom, whereas in the Fire Forest you only had those spike pits, but now you have spike pits everywhere. And you have these elevators that you must jump on in order to progress, especially if you play as not as mobile characters like the the Fabricator or Fabricator or the Ironclad. If you play as the Duskwing or the Wildfire, you have more capabilities of moving around, so it's not as dangerous. Be careful around these spawning platforms though, because if you see a red silhouette spawning, that means it's going to be a one full of spikes, so make sure not to step on it. Here we have these turrets, which will slowly move on to your position and then attack you. I'm falling behind. I really should be catching up with everyone. Just be careful so you don't fall into the pit. There aren't instant death traps yet, but oh boy, we're going to be having a mission in the future, aka the Strands mission, which will have death pits or instant death pits. So use the lessons you learned from these missions with the non-instant death pits, and use them for experience for those missions which do have instant death. Trust me, the game gets really difficult once you reach the tier 3 or hard missions. Normally I wouldn't suggest doing that, but hey, I roughly know the layout of this segment. I just don't know what the boss fight is like. And in the Elite version of this mission, it gets a lot more challenging, but that'll be in 2 or 3 parts. And I'm falling behind completely. But I do like how each mission has okay, this is a mini-boss encounter. As I was saying, I do like how each mission or each world has its own unique gimmicks and unique look. Like the Fire Forest is a forest, the Fungus Cave is a cave full of mushrooms. And this one is basically a lost city occupied by a military. Probably harvesters. Okay, mid-boss complete. I'll need to show it off again because I don't know what happened. I don't know where the treasure... Okay, thankfully the treasure chest spawns over here instead of off right in the middle of that pit. Let me drop some stuff. So much good stuff that I'm not going to use because I already have statistically superior gear. I'd rather take stat buffs right now over unique equipment effects, especially at this low level of experience. Whoa. Okay, it doesn't deal as much damage as I expected it to be. Apparently falling into spikes only deals 6 points of damage. I expected it to do 25 or 40. Oh well, I guess it was nerfed or something. There are a lot of military-themed enemies here, with the turrets, those enemies on jetpacks, as well as those foot soldiers. But playing as the Duskwing or Wildfire allows me to skip a lot of these segments, especially as I can multi-jump. As you can see right over here. But you gotta be a little bit careful so you don't get hurt. Oh, mini-boss. Well, not mini-boss, but a tougher enemy. I can't really get close enough. Now, there is a longer range weapon available to wildfires, and I believe they're called bow-type weapons. They're long range, low DPS, so they're lower risk, lower reward. Of course, I wouldn't suggest using them unless you're in a situation where there are enemies who are quite close to you and you can't really get close to them without getting hurt pretty badly. Nice of the boss to crash land over here. Oh, yeah, some enemies shot me over there. As you can see, because I have the double shots, I can skip a lot of these challenges. Alrighty then, we're up to the boss fight right now. So let's do this and hopefully we won't die. Okay, we have this large installation. We have a lot of people on the left. Okay, we have these platforms. We have a lot of these jetpack soldiers coming in. Okay, I hear something's coming. We have those mechanical birds or whatever. Something's coming, but I can't see what. Oh. One of the advantages of playing as a fabricator is that it can actually create platforms in midair, so you can attack enemies you can make new platforms and get closer to enemies when necessary. Okay, we have a giant mechanical beast, giant robot or something. So just keep firing at it, I presume. Oh boy, apparently this is actually spawning all these mechanical enemies. Oh boy. Whoa. We better destroy these so we don't get caught by all these shots. At least you can jump below platforms. Oh, and apparently these enemies can actually destroy these barricade blocks or whatever they're called. Okay, my friends my allies took care of the one on the right, so I suppose there's one on the left then. Oh boy. So it's now coming from the top. Something's coming from the top at least. So we need to destroy, we need to destroy its arm then. Okay, we destroyed its arm. Oh, whoa. Okay, at least I didn't take a ton of damage. So now we have to destroy the machine itself. And it'll rise right back up to the top. Oh, okay, and then it respawns two of its hands and it fires all of these spark shots, which explode, of course. Quite an impressive and huge boss, and definitely a step up in terms of difficulty compared to the leaping lobster of the fire forest. Okay, we need to destroy its arms in order to drop it to the ground. Although I can see that we can actually hurt the boss even while it's up there. It's just easier to hurt the boss when its arms are destroyed because it won't fire all those deadly projectiles. So there's a trade-off. So I suppose the players could speedrun it if they were just focus fire completely on the boss instead of on its hands. But it makes it a lot harder and a lot easier to die. Here we go. I think one more round of destroying the arms and shooting it when it's down should be enough. Never mind. Okay. Alas, the Vanquished boss has been vanquished. So let's see what gear we have. Oh. This is experimental, and because it has the experimental modifier, it'll have tree traits, or tree modifiers. Same with this. I don't really want the tripwire, I really want to have the incendiary rounds. Although, I will take it just in case. So I'm going to drop all of this gear. Pick up that. And pick up the ironclad stuff. So just to be sure, experimental contrived, okay. Where's my secondary? Oh, I suppose, oh, okay, so this is a different secondary weapon. But I'll be showing that off in the next part. But it does deal more damage, but I believe it's just like a mine. And my max level has been increased to level 8, so that's nice. Let's pay another visit to our stash and do some inventory management. Take this, stash that. Let me see if there's anything else. No. As much as I like the fragmentation grenades, it's better to just store up weapons, as I will be using them more often. It's better to store weapons and armor compared to secondaries. In terms of equipment priority and storage, I'll put secondaries near the bottom, next with mobility. I'd rather focus on the main, my air blast, and my body abilities. My main, special, and body abilities. Okay then, to summarize what I did in this part, I completed the Fungus Cave finally, and I also completed the Vanquished mission. So, in the next part, I think I'll pay a visit to the Elite Fire Forest. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Toodles!